I want to share a pet peeve I have when it comes to employees who overshare uh, when re, um, when sending emails for sick time or vacation time or I don't know, late to work, something like that. Basically, any instance where the employee overshares, I get a little bit annoyed. But not at the employee. The employee is honestly the victim in this scenario. It's more just the conditioning they've gone through, whether it's the school system, whether it's their personal upbringing. College or some previous employment. I hate it. I get very upset. Um, not at the employee, just at the whole situation. So I've had employees who, if they're sick, they tell me, "Hey, boss, I'm going to be sick. I'm not feeling well. I'm, vomiting, and I have a runny nose, and I have a headache, and I have this and this." And I'm just like, I'm not your attending physician or something. Like, I don't need any of this. Just say, "Hey, Mohammed, I'm going to be out this day, today and tomorrow, all day. I'm going to be using 16 sick hours or 20 if they have if they work the schedule where they work 4 days a week for 10 hours a day. um, that's it. Just, hey, Muhammad, I'm going to be out today and tomorrow, and the time, where does it come from? That's the next thing I need to know. This is sick time, or they can say I'm going to use my vacation time, whatever. I don't care. And then I forward that email to their team lead, or sometimes I ask employees. It depends what it is, right? So if it's no low level employee like a developer is going to CC the CIO, but if it's like a program manager, I might they might report to me directly, or sometimes they might report to me kind of indirectly, and I'll tell them, just make sure your boss knows. And also, if you're on a team, if you're on a project, just make sure the team knows that you're going to be out today. Again, no details. I've actually had instances where someone sent me a whole story, and I'm just like, come on. And I'll forward it along, but what I'll do is I'll just remove all the personal details, and then I'll also CC them so they see that, like, I've let their team know that they're out, and I've removed all the unnecessary information. It's redacted in a way, because that personal information, it doesn't need to be. No one. First of all, not many people care, unfortunately, right? I care about your well-being. I don't care about everything. Um, and it's not appropriate to share in the workplace, right? If you are ever sick, you're ever going to be out for work, or you're going to be late, you don't need to say, "Hey, boss, look, I'm going to be late. What happened was I intended to take this train, but the express train that usually comes was canceled because of snow, and now I have to hop on the next train, and that will push me back 45 minutes, and I'm going to be arriving this time, and I'll make it up at the end of the day. I'll do extra work, or I'll work through lunch." And I'm just like, dude, this is a whole, like, this is beginning, middle, and end. My time has a value. My time has a dollar figure attached to it. So I don't want to waste time reading a whole story. And I just need to know, hey, late or not going to be able to come in at all. Are you not able to come in because of transportation, but you're going to be working from home? Like, just give me right away 1 or 2 lines. Tell me everything, and that's it. And I think this happens because maybe throughout college, people are expected to provide explanations to people who try to wield power over them. I don't like that. Or maybe they've just had managers in the past who, when they're micromanagers, right? To justify their own position or stroke their own ego, to feel powerful at the workplace because they're losers. They'll try to get up in your business. If you're sick, they'll be like, "Oh, what do you have?" Um, I've actually had employees who have told me that they're sick, and do I want them to get a doctor's note? And I'm like, if you have a flu or cold, like, I'm gonna tell you to go to the urgent care with, we have a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, so I know the urgent care visit is $50. You want me to make you spend $50 just so a doctor can tell you what you've already told me? You're sick. That's just no. That's save your dollars, stay home and chill. Why would I also expose you to other people? Right? That's something managers don't think about. Is I think about things in terms of liability, right? And confidentiality. When an employee is sharing these information, I tell them not to share with me because I want to make it very clear. It is not expected that for you to share your personal information, your personal crises, especially if there's medical information involved. Um, that's why I never let it slide, and I tell them right away, that is personal, protected information. Don't share it with me, and don't share it with anyone in this company, right? Our policies are they're very clear. You do not need to share anything. If someone is developing their own culture within the company where you've been told that this sort of thing is expected, I would love to know. And I'm sure HR and legal would also like to hear who is exposing the company to future lawsuits. But I always try to educate my employees, right? You don't need a doctor's note. You don't need to go to, the urgent care. You don't need to go to the ER. Like, none of this is just nonsense, right? Just stay home, chill, recover, do your thing. And if God forbid you're someone who has been injured, that then there's a procedure for that where maybe medical documentation is required, but that's something that's between you and HR, or disability coordinators or something like that. But it's not between you and your boss ever, unless you actually work in HR, in which case I guess maybe your boss would be involved. But yeah, no, don't. I don't know where this starts. I don't know if maybe people are being conditioned at home that you always have to explain to people who are in authority, but it's a bad practice. It's a bad practice, and I blame micromanagers who, I blame teachers sometimes. I also blame managers who try to micromanage employees, and the horror stories I've heard are terrible. I have an employee who told me that their last manager used to like stopwatch their bathroom breaks. Like, they used to track them. Like, all the employees used to track all the employees, like, used to write down when they went to the bathroom, how long they were in the bathroom. And it got to the point where he was actually like trying to, I don't know, guess what employees were doing in there. Like, if an employee was there for 25 minutes, he would say, hey, maybe next time leave your phone behind or something like that, which is hugely inappropriate, which would just catch a lawsuit in minutes because why are you so up your employees' personal business? Like, you're essentially following them to the bathroom at that point if you're clocking, just clocking them, monitoring them. It was just very cool. When they told me that, I was like, that's a very icky story. That's not what we do. And please, I hope you never end up in a position like that again. It's not going to be here. I try to breed a culture of trust and, trust, appropriate behavior, and just maturity. That's an immature behavior right there. If you have bosses who do that, there's also a horror story I have from another employee where someone tried to, I don't know, I guess tell her that like she had to send a selfie from home to prove that she wasn't out and about, because that manager swore that when they went to Chili's for lunch, they saw that employee. So they like called them immediately and they're like, I want like a selfie of you right now because I think you're, at this mall because I saw you when I was at Chili's. And I'm like, what is happening to all of you people? Why are you all so battered and broken when you come here? All these stories make me very sad. I don't know. Maybe my parents just kind of gave me some confidence growing up, that I was really only accountable to them. And I respect authority figures, right? Don't get me wrong. I respect authority figures, but when it comes to, the workplace, I try to have healthy boundaries. I tell my bosses what they need to know. I tell my employees what they need to know. I tell my peers what they need to know, and that's it. If I'm out, I'm out, and that's all. That's what the email will say, right? It's like, hey, Mike or whoever, whoever is in charge. I'll be like, hey, I'm not in today. Bye. That's it. So at this point, I don't even say I'm sick or I'm on vacation. I just say I'm out and I'm not in. I'm oh. That's my favorite one, right? Out of office, I'll just say I'm oh until this is a no explanation, right? Nothing, just out. And I figure out the whole hour situation when I come back, right? And that's that. That's it. You don't need to share any information, and if you're in a company where this sort of explanation memo, essay is expected, you are not working for the right company. I can tell you that much.